Welcome to the second teaching video in July. Like promised in the first teaching video where we talked about the theory about how to bend a horse, how to influence the moving direction of the horse and how to combine that just via the seat. At the end we promised that this time we will show you how this can look like, and we just edited some little sequences to show you how we bend the horse, how we send the horse with a bend on a curve, on a circle, how we put the horse in the position of a travers, and at the end we even show you a little bit how we can put the horse in a half pass just via the seat. And as you can see in these little sequences, we show this with different riders, different horses, different equipment. But especially with the equipment, it's here really not about the equipment, because we generally always have the thought that it doesn't matter which equipment you have on, because our vision is that we use our seat as the main communication, and only if needed we really refined, if possible, if horse and rider progressed enough, we only really refined use the reins as needed. And but what is really nice here in the examples where we are only riding with a string, so we have nothing on the head, is that you can see how effective the seat can be. And this is really what is blowing us away and really fascinating us, and drives us to find out more and more, because the horses are so unreal sensitive, and if we get in a position that the horse can understand, it's really so unnecessary that we pull on their heads or use the lower legs. And with pulling on the heads, I mean not only 10 kilograms, I already mean 100 grams or less. So this is really what fascinates us, if we don't need that at all, if we have full freedom and the horse gets the full freedom. And this is what you can see nicely in these sequences. So then the next topic we talked about in the last theory teaching video was the travers. So the difference here is now that in this case I have the travers, what means hind quarter in this case to the left. So my whole body is turned to the left for the left bend. But now the extra points, what I need is that I tell the horse to maintain a certain position and direction with the front end, and the same for the hind quarter. So how I can do this is not only turning to the left, I also activate my left front corner and block with my left front corner the left shoulder. And with this I imagine that I hold the shoulder and the wither next to the bande, or next to the rail. And with doing this, I almost already get my travers. But what I can imagine then, with activating my left front corner, that the diagonal from the left front to the right hind gets longer. With this, I can get my right hind corner away. And in the beginning, I don't want to use my lower leg at all anyway, but it's really helpful if you take your lower leg away to get the feeling of getting the imaginary right hind corner away. And then on top, so that the horse, in this case Casper, knows where to go. In this case, my absolute energy direction goes along the bande, along the rail. Then we have a look how this looks in action. What we can see here a little bit is that I break a bit in my box, so the top is really nicely turned to the left, and my upper part of the box not as good, probably because I want to help me a bit more to keep my left front corner on. Nevertheless, Casper understands super, but you see again how good the video analytics are, or the slow motion, because there you can see so much what you often don't feel while you ride, or often even miss if you're watching live. Then here another example, Ludwig and Tony. If we imagine the bande or the rail would be along here, and therefore he has a travers to the left, hind quarter to the left. So this means we need the left bend, the whole seat is turned to the left. And in this case, similar like just in my case, Tony has to activate the left front corner, elongate the diagonal left front right hind corner, and get the right hind corner away. And you see really nice that neither of the lower legs are used here. So Tony just does this really via his seat. Also the string is loose. And depending on how much you play with this bend or with your corners, you can get more bend or less bend or more angle of the lateral movement. Here now the same to the right. So we imagine that the rail would be along here in elongation. So in this case, we need for the Travers to the right, the whole seat is turned to the right. Here Ludwig loses the bend a little bit. So turn in a second, turned a bit more to the right. And always again in relation to the spine where he's sitting on. And Ludwig gets in a beautiful right bend again. And this without any support on the head. Now the same again to the left, just a slight different angle. Turn to the left, left hip goes a little bit back, the whole left leg goes a little bit back. And energy direction is always where you want to go. So here in this case, relatively straight. So this is where where I have the cursor. This is where the absolute energy direction goes. While the left front corner holds the shoulder in the same line where the energy direction goes. And that if you take the right hind corner away, take your left lower leg away, this allows the horse to swing the hind quarter to the left, even if it sounds a little bit impossible. But as you can see, the horse understands. Okay, then just for a little bit more inspiration, we have here an example of a half pass with Ludwig and me. And I start first a bit more on a Travers, so hind quarter to the right. And then I start to turn my box here more. If you compare it to how I start, I start to turn my box, my hips, my legs more to the right. And the front end goes to the right. So it's really amazing to see how sensitive the horses are. And this without, if you look at my hands, I change nothing on my hands. I do nothing with my lower legs. Just turn my seat. And this big horse under me understands this, feels that, and goes to the right. It's amazing. And here in a second, I turn a bit more to the right, like now. Go back again so you can see it. You see it really good if you look at my box. Also, if you look at the shoulders, I have everything as a unit, but on the shoulders you can see it most obvious. Like now I turn more and Ludwig takes the front end more to the right. And because I want to go on a forward sideways movement, so half pass, slight half pass in this direction, this is the direction where my absolute energy direction flows. And with the thighs, I have relatively in my right thigh kind of a magnet to magnet him, to suck him into this direction. And the left thigh pushes him a bit in this direction. And of course, depending, because sometimes the aim is that the front end leads a little bit, but sometimes it can happen that the front end does a bit too much, or the hind quarter does too much or not enough. This is then always depending what my thighs are doing, which thigh has more magnet, which thigh has more push, and which corners I have more on. But in the optimal case, for the half pass to the right, I have my right front corner a bit more on, elongated from right front to the left hind, make this diagonal a bit longer, take the left hind corner away. And with this position, again, I don't have to use any lower legs. Here again, you can see really good my lower legs are passive, they're not on the horse. Now here the same with Tony and Ludwig. A slight half pass to the left. Therefore Tony has his whole seat to the left. You see really nice how the lower leg is passive. Ludwig has an excellent bend to the left. And again, I mean, here it's not so much about in which lateral we are. It's more about that we want to make it really obvious and just open up your mind that you can see and realize how effective the seat can be. If you get really in a good alignment so that the horse first, that you're the best load to carry for the horse, and if you then get so stable and so much in balance yourself that with really slight changes in the angle of the joints and some changes of your muscle tone, that you can influence your horse so much. And it doesn't matter if you want to bend it or speed it up or slow it down, elongate steps or shorten it or influence the front end or hind end. If you understand the concept or principle, you kind of can do whatever you want. So therefore it's not so much here about the lateral, it's just to show you, give you a little insight in this world, what's possible and what Tony found out in the last years, and of course what we want to share with you. And the amazing thing here is really that you don't have to condition a horse to this. Like Ludwig is brand new to this riding without any reins, and we experienced it on horses which got already ridden for years in a certain way, or we experimented with this way of riding with horses which got never ridden before. And again, if the rider is in a good alignment and stable and balanced and gets in certain positions, the horse just reacts and responds to this. But the only thing what you need from your horse is a certain amount of attention. And this is why we still have the string here and sometimes use our lower legs or sometimes use the reins if we have them. But we really have mainly the thought that if we use some support energy like reins or string or lower leg or whip, that they mainly say to the horse, hey, please give me attention, listen to my seat. And as soon as we got the attention again, our aim is to get rid of the support energy again. Because our goal is that we really ride only with our seat and give the horse as much freedom as possible to get in a really refined way of riding and into real harmony and balance. Okay, this was a little insight in our world of riding and where we are right now. And just a little connection from the first July video, which was mainly about the theory about how to bend, how to influence the energy direction or the moving direction of the horse and how to combine that. And in this video we gave you some examples how this can look like with different riders, different horses, different movements. And of course, like always, we really look forward to hear your feedback, to hear what you think about this, if you had some aha moments, or can imagine that some of you directly go to the horse after watching this video and try to test it themselves. And we're happy to hear feedback, how it goes, if you had some success or if you were hitting some challenges. So looking forward to hear from you.